If you think chicken noodle soup heals the soul, well, you haven't tried Pho Ga. Come on in. So this is essentially the same thing as the beef version, except that you're using chicken. So I figured I will show you how we like to make Pho Ga every Sunday morning. So all you're gonna need to make the broth is you're gonna need your aromatics. And contrary to what most people think you need a ton of ingredients, but you really don't. You just need ginger, about 2 sticks of cinnamon, some star anise, and a big onion. And you might also want to add some cilantro roots and some green onions, but this is very much optional. So the first thing to do to extract the most out of your aromatics is you're gonna have to char them first. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this in half horizontally, and then I'm going to char it directly onto the stove. I mean, you can always broil it in your toaster oven if you like, but I actually kind of like doing it this way. My mom always did it this way, so that's how I'm gonna do it as well. And we're also going to char our cinnamon sticks as well. And I'm gonna cut my onion in half. And I'm also going to just put that right on top. Now you want to keep a close eye on it, so in case a fire starts, you can quickly attend to it. If you want, you could also prop it up on a little rack like this, so that way the cleanup is a little bit easier. But I want it really nice and charred, so I'm just gonna put it on top of the stove directly. Right over here, I have about a medium-sized chicken that I'm going to use for my broth. But if you're making this at home and it's just, you want to make a small portion, you can go ahead and just use a smaller portion of, just thighs or wings to flavor your broth instead. But I'm using a medium chicken, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash this up, and then I'm going to carve it into pieces, and then we'll continue with the next step, okay? Also going to go ahead and add about 2 tablespoons of chicken powder. And I'm going to go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of salt. Okay. I'm going to add my 2 onions, or sorry, 1 onion cut into 2. Ginger. And all the aromatics, okay? And we're just gonna go ahead and let that simmer. I'm gonna bring this back down to low and let that simmer. Every now and then you also want to get rid of this foam that builds up. Okay. Okay, so after about 1 to 2 hours in, you're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of sugar to your broth. I'm just using this Chinese rock sugar, okay? But you can go ahead and use just regular sugar as well. Okay, so I just dropped a big one in there. And then I'm also gonna add a little bit of fish sauce. So maybe about that much. I'm also gonna add the rest of my herbs. So earlier I mentioned that I saved the coriander stems and, or sorry, cilantro stems. And we always use cilantro as a garnish anyways. So I like to save the stems and put it in the broth, and that will just add a little bit more complexity. And plus you don't waste, right? So we'll just put that in. And I also like to add a little bit of green onions just to make it a little more oniony, more flavor. Okay. And then we'll let that sit for another hour or so, and then it should be ready. So pho noodles come in, you know, many different thickness and like thickness in terms of width, but also thickness in like this way. I don't know how to describe it, but this way, but also this way, right? I'll describe it better in my next video. But you want to get a nice thin noodle because that really tastes nice with the noodle soup. For the thicker rice noodles, those usually taste better in like a stir fry, kind of like pad thai. So for this noodle soup, Pho Ga, I'm using the thin noodles, okay? So what you want to do is you want to soak it in some warm water for about 15 minutes. When you're ready to actually cook the noodles, you're going to put your water in a rolling boil like this, okay? And this is probably, let's say, this is probably enough for about one serving right here, okay? So you can just grab a handful and just drop that in. And that won't take too long. That would take maybe about less than a minute. But you're just gonna keep an eye on it and make sure that it's nice and soft. Before I actually pour my soup over my noodles, I'm just gonna try it first. Good. So like, you wanna make sure that the soup is a little bit on the stronger side. Once you pour it over your noodles, that's going to dilute a little bit. So if you think that the soup is just perfect, then you should add just maybe a touch more salt or a little bit more fish sauce, because as soon as it goes in the noodles, you should expect that it's going to be a little bit lighter and not as strong the flavor. So that's pretty concentrated right there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pour that over. I should have taken out the Star Anise, but it's okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna get a beautiful chicken there, chicken thigh, and drumstick. And some other pieces. I'll just remove that. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to garnish it. So right over here I have some sprouts, some cilantro, okay, a little bit of this herb. This herb here is called, it's like tooth saw herb. So just throw a little bit of that in there. Okay, we got some Thai basil here. Okay, and a little bit more green onion. Beautiful. Okay, and that's what I call a bowl of pho. Absolutely delicious. I don't know if you noticed, but when I was scooping the soup over the noodles, like that golden broth is just incredible. It's so beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and if you like this recipe, make sure to click like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you're notified of all new videos. And I'll see you next time. Bye.